time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk is brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis. Banking one story at a time. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute. Comprehensive cutting-edge care giving you every reason to choose Hayes Med. United Rentals. Your partner for equipment rental, sales, and service. VTI. Your John Deere dealer. With locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. VTI. Our family in partnership with your family. The Taco Shop. Order by phone or use the Taco Shop app. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. The Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. Royal Roofing. Give your home the royal treatment with Royal Roofing. And Eagle. Our community connected. Now, Tiger Talk with the voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock.
And a good morning and welcome into Tiger Talk. Good to have you with us here on this Monday, our final show of 2025. We'll be taking a couple of weeks off due to the Christmas holiday break and New Year's. Our next program will be on January 5th. 4 Day State will have a couple of conference games under their belt by that point. But, Tigers will have their final week of action here and then break for Christmas for about a week or so before getting back and getting ready for the second semester of play. Need to remind you that you can participate in the program. All you have to do is go to FHSUathletics.com, click on the Fans tab. You'll get that drop-down menu, and there at the very bottom right, you'll see Tiger Talk Ask the Coach. If you use your question, chance to win a Mix 103.3 T-shirt. If you missed any portion of the program or any previous shows, you can always find them on Hayes Post through the Defend the Fort podcast. Also, the video replay will be on Hayes Post later today for the program, and you can go back and find any previous shows as well. You can sync up our radio broadcast with the MIAA Network feed. Do so by downloading the TuneIn app to whatever device you listen to the games, and then when you're watching on the MIAA Network, you can pause whichever device is running ahead right at the opening tip, let the other catch up, and sync up and listen to the radio play-by-play while watching the MIAA feed. If you're going to watch the men, reminder, they're in Colorado, will be on the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference Network, not your normal MIAA feed, but the women will be there this week for their final two home games. Tiger men win. They knock off William Jewell College 78-59 on Saturday, snapping their two-game skid. Good second half for that one. We bring in head coach Mark Johnson, and that was a good second half. 49 points in the second half. You score 78 in the game, and just really a really good second half. Probably one of the better of the year for your squad on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely got off to a slow start. It's obviously we were disappointed over the week before, not being able to win a game, and that road trip. Finals, finals as always, we talk about, it's always an interesting time. As you're getting closer to Christmas break, it's an interesting time how your guys are going to respond. And I thought we came out, and again, our bodies were moving, didn't feel like maybe we were the most locked-in team. And, that's the first time this year that we've done that. Thought at halftime we regrouped. Thought our guys came out, and like I said, we played a really good half on both ends of the floor. We guarded them extremely well. We ran really good offense. We made some perimeter shots, so we did a lot of good things there. First half, we kind of talked about it after the game. For whatever reason this year, I really don't have an answer for it. I guess I feel like everybody is switching our ball screens more than they ever have. And you watch on film, and I don't know if we struggled maybe against St. Paul early in the year when they did that, and everybody's watching that film and hey, we need to switch them. And we probably, like I said, maybe overcoached it this week, and we're really trying to focus on ways to take advantage of it. And it's one of those things you got to take advantage of it through your offense. I felt in the first half we just held the ball and we're trying to, throw it in and get that big guy switched on a smaller guard and try to really just throw it in. So we ended up just standing and holding the ball and getting nothing accomplished. It's one of those, you got to look for it. It's not there. Keep it moving. Maybe the next pass will get it, or the next pass. And thought the second half we just kind of opened the floor up a little bit more, went to more traditional what we do, motion, and our guys did a better job of finding the action there. there.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You had some nice performances. Kyle Grill, good to see him kind of get back to form. He shot the three ball a lot better. He scored 22 for you, 15 for Lucas, and back-to-back double-digit games. He's coming off his career high against Washburn the game before, and backed it up with a pretty solid performance. Got a nice dunk in there, but he's playing some pretty good ball right now.
Yeah, he is. You know, the big thing too, he's obviously not going to be able to sustain his shooting percentage. I mean, that's just, you know, he's shooting it at such a high level from three. I thought a couple of them he took was more. He was more of a willing shooter. You know, we talk about we have a lot of guys right now that just aren't willing shooters. We need guys on the perimeter, you know, that shoot those shots when they're open. A lot of times, even in the first half of this game on Saturday, you know, we had some good looks, and sometimes when you turn those down, that's the best look you're going to get in that possession. And so then we come on and we turn it over, take a worse shot. So it's good to see him, you know, willing to shoot it. He's shooting it well. You know, Javari and Kyle are kind of the two guys that are willing three-point shooters. We got to get be more ready to shoot and willing to shoot when he's open too.
Yeah, and Javari, look, he played with a lot more confidence, hit a few shots. He's so good with that mid-range jumper for a guard. You usually don't see that as much, but just seemed like he was playing with a lot of confidence, shooting it well, distributing, just kind of back to the form he was at the beginning of the year because he got off to a great start and then kind of hit a little bit of a lull after about 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, him and Kyle have to shoot the ball, you know, decent for us from the three-point line. We've been able to get that the last few games. I mean, we're making a little bit. I think we've averaged 7 made threes a game the last 2 games, which for us is a high number. Shooting a better percentage. I think we got a percentage of what was it, 24 for the year. I think we're up to 30 now. You know, which is, you know, if we can just keep that moving, that makes a big difference. You know, our guards aren't necessarily great creators. You know, we're not going to get a ton of assists out of our guards, but they need to be able to shoot the ball because we play through our bigs. And if you look, anytime we throw it in, you know, or they're cheating off, like the first half they cheat off to cover the post and don't let our big guys catch it, or when they do catch it, a lot of people coming down a double and triple team, leaving our guards open. So our guards, we're almost creating shots more through our bigs than our guards this year. So our guards got to be willing shooters, and they have to be able to shoot it at a pretty decent level for us to win games.
Well, they're starting to turn in that direction, especially the last 2 games. You've shot in the 3-ball better, and it seems like by and large all year the shot selection has been really good from 3. You know, and you're not going to take a lot of them. I mean, you're near the bottom of the nation. Of course, college basketball, it's, you know, layups and threes, but it seems like the decision by and large has been pretty good. Now it's a matter of making them, and you know you have guys who can. It was good to see the last 2 games, maybe them starting to fight out of that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to take bad threes, but at the same time, I feel like we need to attempt a few more. I mean, not where, you know, Mo and those guys, Lucas, they don't need to take 5 a game or anything like that, but I mean, they need to sometimes, like I said, a few times they're open and they're hesitating and not really wanting to take that shot, and so we probably need to attempt a few more a game than we are as we keep going here in this season. But you know, this is a big week for us. We want to close it out non-conference in a really good situation. Conference season, you know, we've only had 2 games. The road games, really good teams. If you look at, you know, like we said going in, Central Missouri is probably even better than I thought they were on film. I mean, they just played Washburn at Washburn and lost in double overtime. So I would say they're on the same level as Washburn. So, you know, hopefully the next time around we get those 2 teams. One will be on our home floor, but we'll be a little better team when we face them next time.
Tigers get it done over William Jewell College in just the second ever meeting between the 2 programs on Saturday, 78-59. We'll talk more about that matchup and then also preview the final week of 2025. 4 days heading out to Denver. It's kind of a throwback week as the old Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference days. MSU Denver on Thursday and then Regis on Saturday afternoon. Tiger Talk today brought to you by BTI, your full-service John Deere dealer. Locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family in partnership with your family. We'll take a time out. More with men's coach Mark Johnson after the break. This is Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
So I had a gentleman come into Golden Belt Bank, very confused with an estimate of closing costs and fees he received from another bank. And I said I would sit down with him and go over these costs. We also issued some closing costs and fees that he could compare. He ended up choosing Golden Belt Bank as his bank. I would do that for anybody that walked in here, anybody that was confused. I really do want them to get the best deal that they can. We try and do everything possible to make their dream come true. Golden Belt Bank, one story at a time.
tournament again.
Yep.
Here's Lightborn to the left wing. Puts it on the floor, dribbles down the lane. Layup blocked by Grill and taken away by Mohamed Kante. Here's Mo racing into the front court. Spins it out to Grill. A three-pointer. Swish! Kyle Grill with the three. His second of the game. He has 20. 60-45. It's a 15-point Fort Hays State lead. Their largest of the ball game with 8:25 to go. Yeah, 1 of 2 threes from Kyle on Saturday. Led the Tigers with 22 points. That was a nice little stretch there. Hit it in transition. Always like to see that. And when he steps up and is shooting confident and hits that jump, that three-point shot like that, it's really fun to see. And not that he's played poorly, but he looked more like Kyle Grill that we saw a lot down the stretch in most of last season.
Yeah, he had obviously a tough weekend up on the road. A lot of us did, and when we were on the road in conference. But yeah, he's one of our capable scorers. He can score a variety of ways. He can shoot the three. He's a 6'6", 200-something pound strong kid. So he can not only, like we said, shoot the three, but he can drive you and really attack closeouts and be pretty physical and play above the rim. He can catch it against smaller wings and be able to post and play a little bit of back to the basket. He's got a really good mid-range game, 1-2 dribble pull-up. So he has a lot of ways to score, which is important. Like we've talked about, a lot of people get in these analytics now, and they don't really. I think the in-between game is still separates, the best players. You can take away threes to some degree. You can take away layups as a defense, but when a guy can score on all, all three levels, that's a hard guy to stop. And I still think they're the best players in Kyle's. He's able to do that.
And big weekend for him. He graduated on Friday at the Coliseum, came back, had one of his best game of the season on Saturday. It was a pretty big weekend for the Grill family at GMC.
Yeah, for sure. So he's got his degree, and he's ready to start his master's degree. He's a very good, very high-level student, does really well in school. And, like I said, there's a lot of things going on during that week with all finals. Like I said, we had a couple guys, former player Sean Riley, yes. He graduated too at December with Kyle. So, like I said, that's this time of year can always be a little interesting. You never know. You got some kid. We have some kids on our team that are from far away. They haven't seen their families since the summer, so they're excited to be able to go home right after this game on Saturday and fly out of Denver and get home. So you want to make sure their vacation and seeing family and all that doesn't start till the final buzzer sounds. And like I said, sometimes this week, sometimes I think it is better to be on the road because you're kind of focused on your road trip. Sometimes when you're playing those last games at home, the kids are ready to go home and they're thinking about getting home sometimes more than the game. But hopefully our group's usually pretty good about being ready to go. And these are, being on the road and all that obviously changes everything. College basketball, it's really hard to win on the road. There's a reason they say you really got to be 12, 15 points better to win on the road. So these games, you look at their records, Metro's kind of starting to put together. They got a little win streak going. They should be, I think they're probably disappointed in their record. Their talent level is much better than what they say they are. And like I said, they're kind of starting to put it together. Regis is kind of having some numbers problems with some injuries and things like that, but they're a capable team being a road game, so we need to be really locked in for this week to finish it up.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll talk more about them in a little bit, but a lot like William Jewell, their record I think was a little bit misleading. They had one of their players who's been hurt all year back, and he made his first start and played for the first time this year and made them a little bit more athletic, a little bit more guard heavy, which can be a challenge for you guys. I mean, you got a big team, and then sometimes those matchups felt like you kind of figured that out through the first half, and then obviously had a really good job on the defensive end in that second half.
Yeah. I mean, they had a Lightborn kid. Give him a 6'3", strong, athletic kid. I would agree. A lot of times over the years, I feel like a big team, we've had to adjust more to the small than necessarily us being able to take advantage of it to some degree. But yeah, injuries have been a big part of William Jewell's. Their best player, the Sutton kid, he missed a couple games, and I think that's where size does come into play. I think he was 4 or 14 14, but he was guarded all night by either Dan or Juju or someone that was 6'8 or 6'9, and I think that gave him problems. I think where you saw we had problems guarding the Scarborough kid, which by having the Lightbourne kid back, we had to go smaller. Javari's really guarded well. He guarded the Houston kid, who's probably a better player than the kid at William Jewell, but they match up size-wise. Even Jack Batchelor is only 6'2", and so Javari guarded him well. But the Scarborough kid was more of a 6'4", strong kid, and you see how size really plays into defense. One of the reasons we've been able to guard so well over the last 3 or 4 years is we've had really good size, and people always say size, they think the center position, and that's really not what we're talking about. You can get away with the 6'7", 6'8" center at our level, and you're fine. It's more about having big two guards, wings, things like that can really make it hard on the other team with your size.
I thought Eli had a really good game, Eli Lawson, and he'd been battling foul trouble lately. He came off the bench for the first time and scored 7, but I thought did a lot of little things. He plays hard, he rebounds, does all those things. But I thought it was one of his better, more solid games, just battling through some stuff in that one.
Yeah, we told him, hey, we're just going to bring you off the bench. Not that you've done anything wrong, you just couldn't get out of foul trouble over the weekend. Both games he started with 2 fouls in about the first 3 or 4 minutes, and it really just kind of takes you out of the game. We even put him back in maybe against Washburn in the first half. A lot of times we'll 2 fouls, you sit the whole half, and it's just hard to get yourself back into the game. So we just wanted to bring him off the bench, try to avoid foul trouble. And the first half we were trying to take it in. It wasn't. We were struggling. He didn't get a ton of minutes. Second half when we loosened him up, I thought he really gave us. He was in the game when we made our push and kind of got separation. I think he ended up with 7 and 4 and did some things like that. So we feel like like I said, the main thing for him just come off the bench, try to avoid foul trouble early, try to get yourself going in the game, as Juju's getting healthy and can play a few more minutes, trying to figure out our rotations. Dan's minutes probably need to come down, even though he's had a good year and really scored for us. Just at times, we probably need to get guys down, like Dan, down to 30 minutes so he's fresher when he's playing out there instead of getting him up to 37, 38 minutes.
That was good to see that. It seems like, too, every year there's somebody, it feels like they start the game with 2 fouls. I go back to Ryan Herman when he played. It felt like, they were in foul trouble during pregame warm-ups. It just seems like it's Eli this year. It's funny how that happens every year.
Yeah, for sure. And, he's trying to be physical, and we need him to be physical. And I agree. You guys that just seem to get in the way of the officials being in the wrong place at the wrong time a lot and all that. So, like I said, we're trying to alleviate that for him a little bit by letting him sit the first 4 minutes. So if he's not out there, he'll have 0 fouls after 4 minutes instead of 2.
And Juju got his first start, and I thought you said something interesting. I was on the last road trip, or when he started to play a little bit more, about just felt like he was trying to play 6 games in one. Felt Saturday, he just kind of let the game come to him. He didn't put up big numbers, but he distributed, just does what, you could see what he's capable of. He hit a 3-pointer, but it looks like he's starting to get more comfortable, and I'm guessing the fact he's been able to practice a little bit more has had a lot to do with that.
Oh, yeah. Everything, like you said, I think being able to practice a little bit more, getting in some games, sometimes you've been out, you just want to come out and just do so much. The big thing with him, he's not going to be a guy that's going to get a 17 a game. That's not who he is. If you watch, he's just a highly intelligent player, especially for a guy with his height and a guy that plays his position. And our offense just runs better with him, whether it be him just moving, he knows where to go. He's a really good passer, and he just creates opportunities for others, either with his movement, decision-making, passing out of the post area, gets guys shots. That's why I think he makes us better. Is just things seem to run better when he's out there as far as movement and running good offense. Like I said, he's never going to be a big-time scorer, but he just makes others around him better. And that's unusual sometimes for a guy at his height and the position he plays.
Yeah, 7 points. points, 3 boards, but 3 assists in 25 minutes right at that in the game, and that's certainly. And we saw that in the Washburn game. Just he really facilitated a lot of things from his size, and I'm guessing being a bigger guy, when you have that ability to pass well, I mean, you can see over defenses and make some of those plays better than other guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're right. You can see over and all that. And if you look at, he had his previous stop last year, he had 85 assists on the year. You look at us, we're dead last in the league in assists, and we're not dead last in the league in assists because we're selfish.
No,
I mean, like I said, we don't shoot it very well. We got to shoot it better. So a few more makes, that's 2 more assists you get. But like I said, our guard, we're not real great creators from the guard position. We got to create from other positions than most teams. And Juju's probably the best of all those guys. Dan and Eli aren't really going to make the passes and see the floor quite to the level of Juju. So I think with him getting out there, our assists per game will go up a little bit.
Well, Tigers got a nice win. They're now 6-3, and as Coach mentioned, a week to close out the first semester. Non-conference games at MSU Denver on Thursday night, and then Regis on Saturday afternoon. It'll feel like the old Rocky Mount Athletic Conference days this week. Tiger Talk brought to you today by The Taco Shop. You can order by phone. Use the Taco Shop app, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. The Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. We'll take a break. More Tiger Talk with head men's coach Mark Johnson next on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
At BTI, we pride ourselves on providing quality John Deere equipment and customer support. Since 1944, BTI has been serving farmers and commercial operators with mowers, tractors, and compact construction equipment at an affordable price. As a leader in the ag industry, BTI offers complete technology solutions so our farmers can help keep America running. Experience the BTI difference for yourself.
Call on BTI.
Our family in partnership with your family.
Rebound tip down to the deck. Conte gets it ahead to Lucas Hammocky for the dunk. Lucas Hammocky with 14 on the heels of his career-high 24 last Saturday in Washburn. He dunks it, and Fort Hays State leads by 21. Yeah, it was during that big run, I think like a 24-5 run, something like that. Fort Hays State pulls away from William Jewell College to get their 6th win of the year on Saturday. Hey, look your best on Tiger Game Day with official Nike gear from BSN Sports and the Sideline Store. Go to FHSUathletics.com, click on Shop. You'll find hundreds of products and designs, and they're all customizable. FHSUathletics.com and click on Shop. Open up the Tiger Team Store. I don't know if they'll get it to you by Christmas, but if you have a Tiger fan on your Christmas list, some great gift ideas there from the Tiger Team Store and BSN on the Fort Hays State Athletics website. Tiger basketball on the road again for these final 2 non-conference games. Thursday night, it's going to be a late one here locally, 8:30 Central Time tip. Fort Hays State and MSU Denver, and then Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock Central Time, they'll be at the Regis Fieldhouse to take on the Regis Rangers. A couple of former Rocky Mount Athletic Conference foes. You played them both at home a year ago, right before the break. Had really nice wins to go into the Christmas holiday break, and as you kind of mentioned, would like to do that again this week. But it's always different on the road. It's always different. You're in Denver, the mile-high city. The elevation, I think, plays a factor in that, and you kind of touched on it. The games are just called differently. Right? I'm not saying it's bad. It's just the MIAA. They let you battle. I mean, you can be physical. You can't as much in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. Your team's going to probably have to adjust to some of that a little bit.
For sure. I mean, you look at free throws per game out there in their conference is much higher than ours. You know what I mean? They just you get close to them. There's a lot of fouls, you know what I mean? And it can be frustrating for our guys because you're used to playing a certain way. We're really, trying to be physical, trying to be tough, dictate, our defense onto their offense, and sometimes it's a little more of a challenge. They're a completely different team. They've had a great front line. They had the McGill kid, whatever his name was. They had the Carter kid they added with him last year. But every time we've played them here of recent that we've kind of renewed the rivalry or the games, they've had a really good front line, and they're kind of different this year. Their team now is really guard-oriented. They got really quick, fast guards. They get up and down, and we're going to have to find a way to keep their guards in front of us and keep them in front without them penetrating and without fouling as we're doing that. So yeah, a little bit different style of play, different areas of concern for us defensively and how we're going to slow them down.
It is kind of fun to renew some of those games with the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, and just going out to the Auraria Event Center. You were there a couple of years ago. The women were there a couple of weeks ago. It's just a lot of memories flown back when you walk in there, and you just remember some of the great games and big games between the Tigers and Roadrunners. And it'll be the same when you go to Regis on Saturday. A lot of good memories from some knockdown dragouts with those programs.
Yeah, for sure. Metro had that stretch when Mike Dunlap was there, and they were really good. A couple national championships. I mean, I remember we beat him. Jeff Riley, we were down 1, and he hit 2 free throws with maybe 1 second to go. Pressure pack free throws. Obviously, made them both. We beat him. I think that team might have gone on to win the national championship. I think we actually swept them that year, and they won it all. So, yeah, a lot of tough games there against Metro over the years, and then Lonnie Porter, longtime coach at Regis, that always had a team. He was a fiery guy who had his team ready to play. So, then even location-wise for a road game, this is a relatively short trip for us, only about 5 hours. So it's good that we're able to go out there and play these games.
Well, it'll be fun. Hopefully, a good day for everybody in all those games. You come away with a couple of wins, and then Regis, Rex Walters, folks may remember him, KU Jayhawk star, and it seemed like you face a lot of former Jayhawks.
Yeah.
Brett Ballard, you have Jeff Boschee, that Roy Williams coaching tree, but his first year there, you kind of mentioned it, they were a little bit short on numbers. They've had some sickness, they've had some injuries. That's kind of depleted them, but certainly a capable program as he tries to build them back to their former state.
Yeah, I mean, he was a head coach at San Francisco University, Division I, Florida Atlantic, Division I. So, he's been around NBA assistant coach. So, he obviously knows what he's doing, played the NBA, so he's kind of get that program going. His son is on the team and is starting point guard and things like that. So, again, we'll have to go out there. I don't care what their record is, what their situation is. We talk it all the time. Our guys got to go out there and we got to earn that victory. You can't expect us to show up and win the game. It just doesn't work that way. They'll be fighting and clawing and playing hard, and we got to make sure we're doing the same.
All right, sounds good. Looking forward to it. Should be fun. That'll be Thursday night in Denver at MSU Denver, the Tigers and the Roadrunners. 8:30 Central Time. Tip will be on the air at 8 o'clock, and then Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock Central Time, Fort Hays State at Regis. Our coverage beginning at 3:30. Coach, appreciate the time. Looking forward to seeing you out in Denver against those Roadrunners on Thursday.
All right, thanks, Rod.
All right, Tiger Talk today brought to you by Golden Belt Bank. It's banking one story at a time. Golden Belt Bank of Hays and Ellis. Visit them at goldenbeltbank.com. We'll take a break. When we return, women's coach Talia Cars will join us. This is Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
Looking for unique flavor at low prices? Look no further than Taco Shop in Hays. We have original, made-from-scratch Mexican food, sure to satisfy an empty stomach. Take a bite out of these delicious deals. Grab a beef or cheese enchilada, bite into a beef and bean burrito, or chow down on a Sancho. Save time with our free Taco Shop app. Have delicious fresh taste in just a few taps. Dine in, get it to go, or have it delivered. Taco Shop. You've never had it so good.
Come on down to the taco shop. You never had it. You never had it so good. To the taco shop.
Now to Levy on the left side. Levy puts it on the floor again, gets to the rim. This time she scores. Timeout Pittsburgh State. It's an 8-0 run by the Tigers, and the Gorillas call a timeout as Brooke Levy drives to the basket and scores. Yeah, some of the action from Saturday afternoon. The 8th-ranked Tiger women, big win over number 6 Pittsburgh State, 88-70. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Nice Christmas bump pad there on the return. Tiger Talk today brought to you by Royal Roofing, the #1 local roofing company. Roofing, guttering, siding, and windows. Call today for a free estimate and give your home the royal treatment with Royal Roofing. Talia Cars joins us now. Tiger women bounce back from their first loss, the 3-point loss at Washburn a week ago Saturday. They come back this Saturday and knock off off Pittsburgh State 88-70. And let's start off with your home opener, latest home opener in program history, and looked like your gals were ready for. They were locked in from the get-go. Obviously, number 6 team in the country, you jump out to, an 8-0 lead, and you led 20-2. I'd say that's locked in from the start.
Yeah, no, I thought we did a really good job. I think we started out with the week with practice. I thought we practiced really well, especially, like Mark said, finals week can be a little weird, and just making sure that they're locked in when they get to practice, and knowing it's nice to have a break from studying and all that. And I think, haven't seen our final grades yet, but I think our girls got after it in the classroom too. But was really happy with the way we practiced all week, and obviously nervous going into that game, being the first home game and then playing the number 6 team in the nation. But I'm really happy with how they came out, and they knew what we were trying to do, and I thought they executed it really well.
Well, it was great. I mean, obviously, you hold them to 2 points over the first, 6.5 plus minutes before they went on a little bit of a run and hit back-to-back baskets. You hold them just to the 2. You're playing good defensively, but you're really playing well offensively. I thought some of your crisper half-court offense that at any point this season.
Yeah, no, I thought we executed really well. We made good cuts. We were screening bodies. We were just, this week we really focused on details, and it's nothing flashy. It's just doing the small little detail things really well. And I think we saw that in the first half. And going back and watching film yesterday, we didn't have as much half court as I thought we did. We got out in transition really well, which that's usually when we can get it spread out a little bit. And I thought we made good passes. We finished shots and missed actually a lot of easy shots too in that first half. But it was a lot of full court, getting the ball up the floor fast, and ran the floor well, had good spacing, and we were just hard to guard.
Well, and obviously Brooke kind of facilitates all of that. She is such we'll talk more about her now, the all-time assist leader at Fort Hays State. We've seen teams maybe adjust to some of her. I mean, her passing from beyond mid-court that you score a lot out of. And it almost seems like she's kind of now readjusted, and she maybe holds on to it a little bit longer, but you're still getting those in transition. She is so good at that and just really can set the tone when you guys can get up and down the floor. And kind of like, that was a big question mark coming into this year without, Liv graduated and Katie graduated. They all ran the floor so well. Really haven't seen a whole lot of drop-off this year. Just next man up, so to speak, and they've kind of taken those roles.
Yeah, they really have. Telex is just hard, especially if she's playing the 5 for that 5-man to catch up to her. That's a difference maker for sure. But Liv Mortenson's came in, and she runs the floor really hard.
Yeah.
And then Ellie's always ran the floor really hard. You just didn't maybe see her do some things, and she can hit an open 3, and she can also smart enough to drive to the basket when it's open or make the right pass. And so you didn't get to see her do that as early just because she didn't start the games, and I felt like we started the games really well last year in transition. And so you're seeing that from her more too. But everybody's willing to run the floor, but everybody's got their head up when they have the rebound to make the right pass up the floor too.
Well, and getting off to a good start, you did that early. I mean, you look at those early wins in St. Joe, it was kind of fueled by first quarter starts. You just kind of maintained the rest of the way, and you kind of did that. And then on the road at Central Missouri and Washburn, 2 really good teams, as evidenced by how their seasons have gone. You didn't get off to that quick start like you had been. You kind of got back to that, and I thought what was nice about Saturday, unlike some of those other games where it got a little hairy down the stretch, they got within single digits or maybe even tied it, you didn't let them come in. They made a little bit of run in that third quarter. I think they got it to 15 or 16, but then you had an answer for them. You kind of kept it going the whole way.
Yeah, I think defense is a lot of that reason. I thought we just did a really good job to start the game, especially understanding tendencies, understanding what shots we wanted to give them, and thankfully they didn't go in when they did get those shots. But that was kind of the goal, was make them shoot that lower percentage shot. And then in the second half, I thought still we did a pretty good job. They did make a little run in that third quarter, but they were super aggressive, and I thought we adjusted and still were able to contain them and get stops.
They're a different looking team too than what you've seen the last couple of years. They still have Schreiner at the guard, but as you kind of mentioned, she's not a point guard quite as much. They really move it around. A couple of really good freshmen. It was fun to see your freshmen battling their freshmen, and we're going to see this go on for years to come, so that's going to be fun. But they put their head down, they get to the line, they get to the rim. How do you feel you defended that? 'Cause it's a little bit different different look for them.
It is, and everybody had to guard. It wasn't like, well, we got to focus on her. It's all of them on the floor, and I thought overall as the team, I thought we did a really good job, except for maybe the start of the third quarter of really keeping them in front and making them make a hard play and a hard move to the basket, and really still in the third quarter we were making them do their second option instead of still giving up their first option, which I was really proud of.
Well, probably you just didn't shoot the ball quite as well as you did in that third quarter, and that's, you were getting good looks, you were still, hanging in there defensively, but basketball's a fickle game, and when you hit shots, it looks great. When you don't, you feel like you're struggling, but it felt like you're still running the good offense. The ball just wouldn't drop in that third quarter.
Yeah, no, I thought we did. I thought we ran offense really well, really throughout the whole game, and it came down to stops, I think, and I thought we did that really well.
Well, another big day for Telexa, 32 points, 13 rebounds, and it was a classic Telexa Wheeler day. 11 of 19 shooting, couple of threes, which is good to see. She'd been struggling. She hit both of her three-point attempts and 8 of 10 from the line, and she's done a really good job of getting to the foul line really all year, but especially the last couple of games, and making hay at the line when she gets there.
Yeah, no, that's something that we've really been trying to focus on her is attacking, because she's hard to guard. You can't guard her off the dribble very well, and obviously if she's open out there, she has the green light to shoot it, but to be super aggressive off the dribble and draw the contact or finish the layup and take that higher percentage shot, because she's making them at the free throw line, and she has this last 2 weeks, really the last 3 games, I thought she's been super aggressive going to the basket.
We talked after the game. It felt like, and it feels like, you're getting the ball inside. Not that you haven't been, but you're getting in a better. They're getting in a better position. They're getting where they can go and score quickly, and just felt like it. There's a lot of new faces, a lot of parts. Just the teams evolve and change every year. It took a little while for Brooke and everybody else to figure that out. It just feels like it's kind of coming together. The guards are getting it inside where they can go at it and go to work and score, and just the offense is moving a lot smoother and freer right now.
Yeah, I think. The entry passes is just working on timing for both the guards and the post, and figuring out when the posts need to start working for position, and then the guards catching it, ready to make it the right pass. I think we've been slow at looking in there, and then or a post has been open before we caught, and then we can't get it in there when they are open. But I also think offensively, part of it's on me, and just figuring out spacing and figuring out where we can attack, when we can attack, who should be attacking, what direction they should be attacking, and I think we've ironed that out a little bit and have been able to give some freedom to them, because they all are really good facilitators, and they can go off the dribble maybe better than we have in the past, similar to Pitt, where we have multiple people that can do that. Also understanding when we can get a paint touch and get it back out, that's a pretty high percentage shot.
Well, and like we said, teams are different, and it just takes a while just to figure all that out. And you've had a little more practice time now. I mean, you had a flurry of games early, you had that stretch before Thanksgiving, 4 games in 6 days. You've been able, I know you had finals week, but now you've been able to get some practice time, and I guess in a way it worked out well. You got a bunch of games, you're able to evaluate, and now you're able to take what you learned from those and make adjustments, and it seems like the team has done a good job with that.
They really have. I think the biggest thing that we've seen growth in is defensively. I think we've came a long way from game 1 to now, and just really understanding what we got to get better at, what we want out of different screens and on all those things, and figuring out what we're good at and what we need to stick to. And so I think that's really grown a lot. I think rebounding, we've gotten better throughout the season too, but offensively I think we're just understanding each other better. I think some of those passes on Saturday were like a football player going up over the defense to score a touchdown. We ripped it out of the air and we're still able to finish. I thought there's I think 3 of those. Very impressive.
Well, Tigers get the win, 88-70 over 6th-ranked Pittsburgh State in a non-conference game. They'll meet, I think it's the second to last game of the regular season down in Pittsburgh. We'll see what's on the line for that one. Sure, there'll be a lot going for when the two meet for conference play. Tiger Talk today presented by United Rentals of Hayes, your partner for equipment rental sales and service. Whether it's big or small, find it all at United Rentals in Hayes. We'll take another break. More Tiger Talk with Coach Talia Cars after this on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle. Benjamin left elbow, back to the basket, over to Levy, underneath Wheeler, quick touch pass, Pilley for three, good! What a possession! Couple of quick touch passes, Pilley buries the three, the second of the quarter for the Tigers, and the lead back to 18 and 28-10. Yeah, that was a nice stretch there in the first quarter for the Tiger women, who put up 56 in the first half. That's the most points in a half since you've been the head coach. It would have been the most in a conference game, but this was not a conference game. But the Tigers beat Pitt 88-70. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. It's presented by the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, the most comprehensive orthopedic care in western Kansas. Why travel hours when the best in the region is right here at Hayes Med? That was a nice sequence. You kind of touched about the offense. And I think an area Telexa has improved her game is her passing. And you've seen that, and it's evolved as the season has gone along. I think you needed her for scoring early, but now as the season has evolved and other players that maybe have kind of filled in their roles and figured things out, she's made a couple of nice passes. That was a great find for Pilley in the corner, and she's now starting to hit some of those threes. Yeah, she really is. Michaela's shooting a really high percentage right now from three, but Telexa, that's the cool thing about Telexa is that she can score a lot of points, but she's still so unselfish, and you wouldn't know just being around her that she's our leading scorer or anything like that just by the way she carries herself. She wants to win, and that's what it comes down to, and she knows when she's getting double teamed that there's somebody else open, and she recognized that quick in that possession specifically and got Michaela a really nice shot. And Michaela's one of the freshmen, I think, since game one to now has improved so much. She's become a really good defender for a freshman, and you don't see that a lot because that's usually the element of the game that maybe takes the longest for newcomers to figure out, but she seems like she's picked it up pretty quickly. Yeah, she just cares a lot about it and wants to do it right. And she spends a lot of time watching film. She'll come in the office and watch film with our staff, and she really just cares about doing it the right way. And early in the year, really even before game started, she was frustrated. It was a lot and it wasn't coming to her, and I said, Michaela, you just wait. I said, it's going to click and it's going to come easy because you care about it and you're studying it and you're working on it, and I think we're already seeing that, and so it'll be fun to see even towards the end of the year how much she still continues to improve. Yeah, we talked about some of the freshmen going head-to-head between Pitt and you, and freshmen are freshmen. I mean, when you've got some talented ones, they've got some talented ones, you still see freshman plays, but it feels like yours have figured it out pretty quickly, how hard you have to play, the intensity, all those elements at this level. And it seems like they've all done a pretty good job in that. I'm just curious your evaluation of their play so far, now that 9 games into the year. Yeah, I think the cool thing with Mortensen is that her high school team was not good, and so she knew she just had to work and work and work in high school to even get anything done and to give her team a chance. And so I think for her that was an easy transition of, I got to work so hard, and she had to do that constantly in high school, and then Michaela, she came off of a successful team, so did Britt, and Caitlin's team was pretty good too, but just their work ethic I think says a lot about them, but also I think it comes back to our upperclassmen, and our upperclassmen just making sure they understand, like, you gotta bring it every day, and they've been a great example and a great role model for our freshmen of understanding you can't take a day off, and it takes a lot of work, and in practice it takes a lot of work. It's not just a game day thing, and that's the fun part, and we talked about it this week, is talking about trust. And for me as their coach preparing practice, I trust that they're going to show up with a great attitude and great effort every day, and I think a lot of coaches can't say that, is that my team, I know that they're going to be locked in practice, and we can have a really good practice every day, and I don't have to worry about what we should run or shouldn't run in practice because I know they're going to show up every day. Well, that makes it a lot easier, and you can certainly see it on the floor. Another player I want to talk about is Avery Lowe, and she's, come a long way and feels like she's been in the program for a long time, but really getting some minutes, and probably one of her better offensive games. 12 points, 5 of 9 shooting, hit a 3, hit a free throw. She just keeps every game going out there. In some games there's better matchups than others for her, but this was a good one, and she really rose to the occasion for you guys. Yeah, she did. She did a great job of getting herself in a good position on the offensive end, and we did a good job of getting her the ball, and she was patient when she got it in there, and she made a really good move, and you saw her put it in the hole. It was fun. I think probably one of my favorite moments was when she got her and one in the first half, and she walked out of there with some confidence, and that's really fun to see, because I think she's worked her tail off for the last 3 years, and she's finally getting to see some fruit of that, and she's doing a great job on both ends of the floor. It's funny, talking with Coach Johnson about Dan McCuna being more physical, and sometimes it's on the offensive end. I mean, everybody knows you got to be physical defensively, but able to score through contact and do all those things. she's starting to do that now, and she's put on a little bit of weight. She's a little bit stronger. You can definitely see that on the floor, and I think you saw the fruits of that on Saturday, and it has prior to that, but able to score through some of that contact and not let it affect her like it maybe did last year and earlier in her career.
Yeah, I think playing against Katie and Liv the last 3 years has also helped her a ton, is that she had to show up to practice every day, and a lot of it's just confidence. And I think you're starting to see her play with a little bit more confidence, and she had to do it every single day, and she's like, you know what, I can do this, and I'm going to do this against different people and games, and so I think it comes naturally to her because she has to, and she's had to every single day. But to walk out with some confidence and some swagger is always a good thing too.
Well, it was nice to see. Tigers got the non-conference win over Pitt. We'll see what happens when you play them at the end of February when it counts for a conference game. You look at the MIAA, Washburn clipped you guys. We knew going in they're going to be really good, and they've had a good year. Central Missouri goes into Topeka, beats them on Saturday. Northeastern's off to a tremendous start. I guess your thoughts of the conference. You'll resume conference play on New Year's Day that evening against Northwest, but your thoughts on the MIAA, what you've seen so far through the early portion of conference play.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Washburn and Central Missouri obviously in person. We saw Newman early in the year, and Newman was maybe towards the bottom last year, but I think as a whole in the conference we're just more level. There's not a big top and a big bottom. It's everybody kind of meeting in the middle, and I think everybody's got to show up every day if they're going to get a win, and it doesn't matter who you're playing. It's going to be tough. You're going to be scouted. They're going to know what you're going to run, what they're going to try to do something different, and so I think top to bottom it's just a lot more even maybe than it has been in the past. Even though we've had 7 or 8 in the top, I think it's just top to bottom, it's everybody.
Yeah, not as big a drop-off as we've probably seen in years past. You're talking about the freshmen, and they got their feet wet in conference play, and it was, a baptism by fire. At Central, at Washburn, 2 tough environments, 2 really good programs. Felt like that maybe an eye-opener for your gals, especially the newcomers, about, hey, it is a different level when you step into conference play. You have to even ratchet it up a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're 7 or 8 in the conference right now, and we're 8 in the nation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously we played 2 of the toughest teams, I think, in that first weekend, but for us to go one-on-one, we're 7th or 8th in the conference right now. And so just continuing to stay locked in and take it game to game. And so this week we're focused on these 2 games, even though they're not conference games, and just trusting the process and trusting that everybody else is going to take care of business throughout the conference, and just continuing to understand, obviously, what you got to do day in and day out, but I think we're doing that really well.
Well, the Tigers, who started with first 8 on the road, will now get to play 5 in a row at home. They'll get the second and third of those 5 coming up this week. Non-conference games with Tabor College tomorrow night, and then Chadron State, an old Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference foe, on Friday night. We'll talk about those when we return. We'll take our final break here on Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
Tired of equipment that's seen better days? Or maybe you have a project that requires a bigger machine than you own. This is Blake from United Rentals and Hayes, and we have you covered. Whether you're a contractor, a farmer, or working on your own project, we've got the machinery you need. Big or small, and everything in between, you can rent it for a day, a week, or a month. And if you're looking to own, we have a huge inventory of reliable used equipment for sale. Plus, we can service and repair the equipment you already own. Stop by United Rentals on South Vine and Hayes. We're your one-stop shop for rentals, used equipment sales, and repairs.
Here's a pass up the floor. Weiner open and lays it in, and that's a new assist record for Fort Hays State. Brooke Levy has just broken the Fort Hays State all-time assist record. That is her 12th assist of the day.
Yeah, she would finish with 13 Saturday. I think 480 now. She had 13, so she's number 1 past Maisha Pruitt. Now Maisha Dybel as the all-time assist leader at Fort Hays State. And we knew it was going to happen this year. Weren't sure it was going to happen before the Christmas break or not. And she took care of it. She's been on a tear here as of late, and that was just fun to see. And she made some great ones. We've seen that over the years. And it seems like her turnovers have dropped. I mean, there's always a few, and sometimes it's kind of like a quarterback. Some of the stats go against you, and it's not your fault. Some of those turnovers aren't her fault because they're not making the catch, but she gets charged with them. But it seems like that assist-to-turnover ratio keeps rising. She's one of the best in the country already, and it keeps getting better.
Yeah, no, she's passing the ball really well. She's fun to watch. Again, one of my favorite moments that day was when we set the back screen for Telexon. She caught it in the air, and that was really nice passing. Just the timing of that and figuring out how to get it past the defense. She just does a lot of things really well. She's the floor really well, understands when the defense isn't looking, when she can make the pass and when she shouldn't. But she's a fun to watch, and just fun to watch somebody that's a senior, that's been around, that's played a lot of minutes, and just be so unselfish still.
4 points Saturday. Didn't need her to score. She was distributing. There's been other games where you needed her to score, and that ability to, as you said, maybe not force the pass, get to the rim, and she's finishing at a much better rate, which is good to see, knock on wood. But she's maybe added that element to her game and not shy to take it to the rim and get your points that way when teams are really collapsing and not letting her distribute like she can.
Yeah, no, I think she's done a really good job of recognizing when she can get to the hoop and when she shouldn't. And always kind of, if somebody scores on her, she's willing to kind of go back and score on them, which is fun to watch too. She just has a little competitive fire in there like that too. But yeah, ready to make the right play, gets people in the right spot. She's constantly telling people where they need to be in the offense, and that's what you want in a point guard.
7 rebounds. Your guards rebound really well. That's a nice luxury. Not every team has that, but she had 7. We know Ellie can do it. We've seen Olivia do it from time to time. But when you have guards who can rebound like that, that kind of enables you to get out and transition
right.
like you've been able to do.
No, and that's what we talked about with her earlier in the year, is if she can get the rebound, we can really go.
Because
you don't, yeah, it does. And she's going to get her head up and she's going to push the ball, and people have a hard time getting in front of her. And so I think she's seeing that probably more too, is if I do get the rebound, I can go shoot a layup on the other end or get a pass for a layup on the other end.
Well, 2 more games left here before Christmas break. The Tigers will host Tabor College today, or tomorrow night, I should say, excuse me, a 5:30 tip, and then Chadron State on Friday, also at 5:30. Tabor's been a really good KCAC program. They kind of graduated a core of really, really, really good players, so they're kind of in a rebuild mode. They've struggled a little bit, but Coach Reed always has them. They play well. They play smart. They don't make a lot of mistakes. Kind of like Mark Johnson has said against some of these teams, you have to earn the win, and you have to earn that tomorrow night.
Yep. No, offensively, they run their sets. They execute them really well. You don't have to question what they're running because they run it right every time. They're getting the right people, different shots. Always have good shooters. The post players work really hard, and so we really got to focus on defending how we need to defend and really work on that end of the floor. And then on the offensive end is continuing to do what we're doing with getting it up quick, and if we can shoot a layup, great. And then just really working in the half court and getting a good shot as they defend, because they're going to be tough defenders too.
And real quick, Chadron, they've kind of struggled a little bit. They're going to play Kearney, I believe, on Thursday or Wednesday, but you'll get a little chance to see them against an MIAA foe, but again, the same way, and that'll be the final game before the break. And kind of like Coach talked about earlier, you never quite know the mind frame when you're getting ready to get a week off from basketball. Hopefully everybody stays locked in this week.
Yeah, they've been watching us all year. We know somebody that they watched our first game of the year, so they could come in here and it could be their big game of the year, and so we got to be ready to go. They played Colorado Springs last week and lost by 10.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a tight game, even though maybe their wins and losses aren't what they seem. We talked about it on Saturday. We got to stay locked in, and regardless of what the caliber of teams are we're playing this week, we need to get better. We've got to continue to grow, and next semester we're going to face a lot of tough teams, and so this week we've really got to utilize that and figure out our weaknesses and continue to improve them.
Well, as you said, you've had some practice time. Now you get to implement them, and as you said, hopefully this week will be a great week to get better. And when you get back after the break, it's a grind.
It is. We got a quick flip around of 4 games really, really quick, and so this week is really important to utilize our practices and take advantage of them, and not just go through the motions and not think about Christmas break, but lock in this week, and hopefully we can then have a good Christmas break.
All right. Well, sounds good. Appreciate you stopping by this morning. We'll see you tomorrow night, and then again on Friday. Should be a couple of fun games to close out the first semester.
Thanks, Jordan.
There you go. That's Talia Cars, coach of the Tigers. Again, a reminder, this is our last show for a couple of weeks. January 5th will be our next Tiger Talk, as the Tigers will have a couple of conference games under their belt after the start of the new year. We've got a lot of basketball this week. Tomorrow night, 5:30 tip. We'll be on the air at 5:05, the women in Tabor. And then on Thursday, we'll have the Tiger men at MSU Denver on the air at 8. Friday, the women and Chadron State on the air at 5:05 again. And then Saturday afternoon from Denver, the Tiger men and Regis on the air at 3:30. Hope to have you join us for then. Hope you all have a great Christmas and Happy New Year. We'll see you back here on Tiger Talk on the 5th. So long, everyone.